What's going on, everybody? It's Stock Picks by Tim, and today's video we're gonna go into Cleanspark's Bitcoin mining update. It was literally just dropped. I didn't even get a full cup of coffee in me yet, but let's get into this video. We're gonna look at their Bitcoin mining update for the month. We're also gonna compare it to the last month. There are definitely a couple differences here, but don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's not waste any more time and let's get into it. And of course, the link will be found below if you want to look at this article yourself. But let's start off with a quote by Zach Bradford, and it reads, "I'm excited to announce that phase 2 of our immersion-cooled mining campus in Norcross, Georgia is now officially complete in hashing. The progress there has translated into another record-breaking month for us, mining a total of 532 Bitcoin. And we've now seen a 20% increase in our hash rate 2 months in a row. As I've said many times before, these successes are made possible by the hard work of our teams, who are absolutely dedicated to ensuring Cleanspark maintains its position as a top publicly trading mining company in North America." And this was of course said by Zach Bradford, Cleanspark's CEO. Now let's get into the numbers. They mined a total of 532 Bitcoin in October, which is up 19% from September. Their year-to-date Bitcoin mined is 3,622, and you'll notice that their holdings has actually come down. They have been selling their Bitcoin to fund their growth. Now they do currently hold, as of October 31, 290 Bitcoin. They converted a whopping 836. Now as for how many miners they do have a total of 54,000, and they're currently pushing a hash rate of 5.1 exahash, which that number is actually up 23% from last month. Now they did sell their 836 Bitcoin an average of 19,340, which is a little bit under Bitcoin's current price, and this is pretty good. Their sales of Bitcoin brought them 16.1 million. But let me know, guys, what you think about their recent mining update. Let me know down below in the comments. Definitely great to see. We already knew that they're mining over 19 Bitcoin per day, and they of course beat their 2022 guidance of 5 exahash. Now they revised that up to 5.5. So good things coming from Cleanspark. But next up, I want to look at their mining update for last month and compare it to this month and see what's going on there. You'll see that only last month their daily production high was 16.74, which for this last mining update was actually 19.2, so that's a great increase. Their Bitcoin miners has increased over 10,000, and they actually just recently gave an update that they purchased 4,000 more machines. So I'm not sure if that was actually included in their recent Bitcoin mining update or not, but assuming it's not, and seeing that they're at 5.1 exahash with 54,000 machines, say that's not included, I'm not completely sure, but say you add 4,000 more machines to that, that would place them right around that year-end target of 5.5 exahash. So maybe I can send them an email or something and see if this number actually includes their, this right here, this increase of 3,800 machines. But yeah, if that number is not included, then that puts them right around 5.5 exahash already. And we still, of course, have November and December for any more Bitcoin miner purchases. And one thing you'll see that's pretty big is you'll notice their total Bitcoin holdings is down quite a bit, down to 290. And last month's was 594. Now, I think they sold a lot of their Bitcoin just due to the fact that they have acquired a lot of debt. They made a lot of recent acquisitions. And of course, they've been continuing to purchase more rigs, continuing to land and expand in more and more states. It is great to see that their monthly production has grown by about 100 Bitcoin. And remember that 16 million in Bitcoin sold? Well, when you want to compare their last revenue reported of 31 million, just from that 1 month, just from October's reported Bitcoin sold, it's already over half of the previous quarter's revenue. So I do think Cleanspark, when they do report their earnings coming up here in December, I do think they're easily going to beat this 31 million reported. I think it's going to be somewhere anywhere from 35 to 40 million. And that'll be good to see an increase in revenue finally, after we've been seeing it actually drop. And this is of course due to Bitcoin's price. And one thing you have to think about during this time when they reported 27 million in revenue, during this time, if I remember right, they're probably around like 15, 14 Bitcoin per day or even less. So thinking about where Bitcoin was at this reported quarter in December, and then thinking about where Bitcoin is now and the fact that they're mining so much more, that leads me to think that once Bitcoin's price does in fact recover, once Bitcoin even goes back to 30, 40,000, their revenues are going to be record breaking again. I don't think this quarter is obviously going to be record breaking by any means. I do think it'll reverse the trend though, which is going to be great to see. The fact that we can beat hopefully 31 million, I definitely do see that happening. But yeah, definitely great stuff coming from Cleanspark during this bear market. You know, we're hearing left and right about Bitcoin miners going out of business, going bankrupt. A lot of these Bitcoin miners having a lot of debt. You know, a company like Cleanspark, I'm not as worried about because they don't have as much debt compared to others like Core Scientific, for example. And the fact that their business was started as an energy company and all of these facilities are actually owned themselves, the fact that they're one of the best out there in terms of their cost to mine Bitcoin, the fact that they're in places like Georgia where energy is extremely cheap, all of these things combined keeps my mind at ease for Cleanspark. I'm not worried about them going bankrupt, and I wouldn't lump them in with all of these other miners that have just been racking up more and more debt. And while yes, Cleanspark has been adding up their debt by making these recent acquisitions, they have been covering it for the most part with all of their Bitcoin recently being sold. You'll notice that they have upticked the amount of Bitcoin they've been selling to further expand their growth. I think that's a good thing. And it's only a matter of time until they're getting around 20 Bitcoin per day, until they're getting 600 Bitcoin on the month. Now, I did want to pull up Cleanspark on the chart and just show you this major support here. If we do break this, we're definitely in for some lower levels. This 280 area, 275 you could call it. If we do break that, that's definitely not going to be a good thing for Cleanspark. But one thing to consider is if Cleanspark does break this, this is also going to be due to a lot of other small caps dropping as well, maybe Bitcoin dropping back under 20,000. It's not just going to be a Cleanspark localized issue. It's going to be the overall small caps, any stocks that deal with Bitcoin. So while yes, the chart is not agreeing with Cleanspark and how much they've just been doing over the last couple months, I can see why, and it is justified, the fact that the Fed keeps raising rates, that Bitcoin has been in a downtrend, although you could argue that it's just been really sideways lately, and I agree. But all of these contribute to investors not being willing to touch Cleanspark because of the uncertainty moving forwards. Once things do start turning around, once we see the Fed settling down a little bit, we are a ways away from that. Once the macro environment improves, once Bitcoin starts pushing back up in price, once that trend turns around and goes to an uptrend, that is when Cleanspark will start outperforming everything. And by everything, I mean everything. You think it might be great for a Bitcoin to go back from 20,000 to 60,000, that's a triple up. Well, just for Bitcoin to do that, I do think that Cleanspark will be right beside it, making even larger gains. I'm talking 5x, 10x. It's almost like a leveraged play on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin drops, Cleanspark is going to drop much more dramatically. Although I'd say a lot of that has already been priced in. A lot of Bitcoin's dropped from 60 down to 20, bringing Cleanspark from 20 down to 3. I mean, you can see the huge difference in the drop. You better believe me when I say that the difference in rise is going to be huge. Bitcoin will triple X, meanwhile Cleanspark will 5 to 10x. Mark my words on that. But that's it for you guys for now. Later today, I'm going to be giving you guys a bingo update. Their earnings should be coming out later today, so stick around if you're interested in that. Leave me your thoughts down below about Cleanspark. How do you feel about their mining update? I personally think they're continuing to execute as planned, even better than expected, and in time the market will see what we see in Cleanspark. The trend needs to turn around first. But thanks as always guys for watching, and have a good day.